Did you know the game designer for Pac-Man was inspired when he took a slice of pizza and saw the Pac-Man shape in the remaining pieces? You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode 135. My name's Gareth Briley, I'm your host. And on my virtual left is Mr. Richard Dobson. How you doing, Richard?
Oh, caught me off guard again there. But I'm all good. How are you?
You don't know where you're going to be sitting, do you? It's like a musical chairs, a virtual musical chairs.
I like it though. It keeps us on guard.
Yeah, how you doing, Richard? Okay?
Yes, all good. How are you?
Good, thank you. And on my virtual right is Mr. Paul Renshaw. How you doing, Paul?
Hello. I was sort of thinking for a second then maybe he's going to go alphabetically by surname today, but you've booked that trend as well and come straight to me. I'm super. Thanks for asking, Gareth. How are you?
I'm very good. There might be some people who think I know what I'm doing, but it's
it's not if they've heard the podcast before.
Yeah, exactly. And on my virtual opposite is Mr. Darren Edwards. How you doing, Darren?
I'm very well, thank you, Gareth. Just in from work and on time as always. So, how are you?
Absolutely.
It's all organised. That's me.
Let's start by what we've been doing this week. What fun stuff we've been up to. Darren, what have you been up to?
So tying up loose ends with work because I finished today for 10 days, which is very nice. So I copied Richard shamelessly when I found out that they were showing some retro Bond films in the cinema. So we went to see GoldenEye, which was great fun. And we went to a gin and rum festival over the weekend, which was great. Ended up, it was at the local uni. Same venue where I graduated 10 years ago as well, which is a bit scary. They had like loads of independent pop-up bars and they had a live band on and you bought tokens and just a fairly reasonable fee to get in and £6 for every double spirit and mixer, which wasn't too bad for one of those things, I didn't think. So, yeah, it was really good fun.
Oh, nice. That sounds good. I want to be there. I want to be at a gin and rum festival.
Good Lord. Is that how much drinks cost these days?
Oh, Paul, that is cheap for a double measure these days. Trust me.
When I was way back in the mists of time when this was all fields, I used to work in a pub when I was at university, and it used to be £1.50 for a double Jack Daniels.
Oh.
Back in it got very messy, but we only got paid like 3 shillings and 6pence, you know. So
I'm going to say I'm surprised they were using the decimal system when you were reviewing it.
Oh, how rude!
Very good. I think like 2 pints here of lager I went out last night. It's about 13 quid.
What?
Oh. I was in London a few years ago. This was about 5-6 years ago, and I went to a bar in Soho with a friend because we'd been to Hyde Park and drunkenly rambled around and went in and got a double rum and coke, gave the barman a tenner, and I waited for change and it never came. It was £10 exactly. I thought, oh my goodness me.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And that's just a normal boozer. It's not that's not a club type place, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Paul, what's your week been like?
Well, my future is going to be avoiding pubs at these prices. Good Lord. My week has been exciting so far. I've spent today in Darren's home city, which was lots of fun. I've been practicing my accent to the point where the woman that worked in the shop threatened to punch me in the face if I didn't shut up. So I stopped it then. Apparently I sound like I come from across the water. I don't know what that means. I don't know which water she was referring to, whether it was like the Atlantic but anyway. And then what with it being so hot, I've come home from work and I have shaved my head and I have shaved my face.
Stop now, Paul. Stop.
Smooth like a dolphin.
All right, good. Jesus. Don't know where that was going.
It wasn't going anywhere, Gareth. Right, I shaved my head and I shaved my face try and keep cool.
Good. What about you, Richard? You been shaving? Don't know my answer.
No, but
Actually, don't.
I probably should because I'm a bit hairy at the moment.
Right.
Oh my. Bit of manscaping required.
Well, no comment. I also went to see GoldenEye. Moving back to friendlier topics. Brilliant. See it on the big screen. It was very good. And we also booked a holiday this week. So in November, Laura and I, it's not our official honeymoon, but we're going to Paris for the week,
Oh,
which we're very excited about.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
very good. Lovely. That'd be really
Yeah.
nice.
Paul's going to teach us all the French.
I was
Yes.
going to say that calls for another French quiz.
Yeah.
I've not recovered from last
No,
week.
we have none of the same. Good. GoldenEye at the cinema. I remember seeing GoldenEye at the cinema when it first came out. It's sad. And what have I been doing? I watched a bit of Sandman. I'm quite enjoying that. I'm doing that thing now because it's so quiet. And, games. I'm going through my back catalogue of games. Things that have been on my list for ages. Just literally on my hard drive. Like things I've downloaded. So I've finished about 3 or 4 games this week. Like I started 6 months ago or last year. 12 Minutes. Road to Tommy. Is it Road to Tommy? Tommy. 2 others I've done as well. So it's been quite nice. I'm sort of like it's like the unpacking game, just sort of getting rid of stuff off my hard drive. So I think I'll be doing a lot of that in August because there isn't much out there at the moment. So that's been my fun time. But what games have we been playing, gentlemen? Let's talk about that. Richard, let's start with you first.
Well, if this podcast comes out after 2:00 tomorrow, then I can talk about Arcade Paradise, which the embargo is that time tomorrow. And my review should hopefully be up at that time as well. I'm just putting the finishing touches to it now. But this is a game that's got a lot of older gamers excited, I think, because it harks back to the day of actually going to an arcade and playing an upright machine. Basically, you're a kid that gets given your father's laundromat to look after whilst he's sunning himself in the Riviera, who, interestingly, he's called Gerald, and he's in the Riviera, and he's voiced by Doug Cockle, a.k.a. Geralt of Rivia. So you can see what they've done there straight away.
Nice.
But yeah, that sort of sets the tone for the rest of the game. So whilst you're looking after this laundromat and you have to look after the day-to-day dealings of that, in the back room is a couple of arcade machines that you can play, and then you start realizing that these are making a lot more money than the laundromat is. So you start buying more of these arcade machines and start expanding that side of the business. But the beauty of Arcade Paradise is that there's over 30 of these arcade machines, and each one of them is playable. And there's some really, really good games within. They're all created from scratch, sort of, whilst being riffs of like classic games at the same time. So an early one that you can get hold of is called Racer Chaser, I think. And it's basically like a top-down Pac-Man sort of game, but instead of controlling Pac-Man, you're controlling a yellow Lamborghini, and instead of it being pellets, you are picking up stacks of cash, and the font is GTA style, and chasing you instead of having ghosts chasing you, it's police cars, and if they hit your Lamborghini, you don't die, but you get thrown out of your car, and you have to run across this map to try and get it back, whilst holding a boombox that then fires musical notes at these police officers.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of depth to all of these games that when I was playing, I just wasn't expecting. There's one that's another early one is Candy Crush Saga, but it's called Wood Girls Adventure or something like that. But it sort of has this overworld map that you need to go and challenge people, or they want feeding like cake and stuff, so you then need to go into a level of Candy Crush, and that that game on its own takes about 3 to 4 hours to complete. And there's over 30 of these games, and they're all of varying length. The one called Blockchain, which is a weird puzzle game involving numbers, and I'm still not quite sure exactly how it works, but at the same time, it's brilliant fun to play. There's a dance machine. There's a game based on Outrun. Just so many of these games.
So they're all based on games, but they're not the new twists on them. Completely original. Is that right? In the arcade?
They're original titles, but you can see where a lot of them have got their inspiration from straight away. Right. But it quickly gets to the point where you stop caring about this laundromat and you're going into this place that you work at each day just to play these brilliant arcade games. And then obviously as you build up a collection, you're getting more money. You can empty them and put the money in a safe. And then when you start building up a bit of bank, you then buy more off the internet. And it's just, it's so much fun. There's a lot of depth to it that I really wasn't expecting.
That sounds good. I just thought it was like, like those games when you just don't the Pac-Man from 1982 or something. It's in the arcade. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That sounds good. So your review's coming out tomorrow on the embargo, today. Now you're hearing this tomorrow. Great. Thank you, Richard. That sounds good. Any questions from you two? No.
No, that sounds
good.
Very good. Yeah, it sounds different than what I was expecting from the title, certainly.
Me too. Sounds like right up the street.
All right, Paul, you've got a game. I feel like you've been reviewing this game every week we're on. Is this a new version?
Well, thanks for leading into that, then, guys. I'm assuming you're talking about Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2.
Yes.
Yes, I feel like I've been reviewing it for most of my life, to be honest, because it's a remake or a remaster. I'm never quite sure which one it is, of the original game that came out in 2004 on the old PlayStations and stuff. I think it was PlayStation 2 it was on.
Right. And
basically it's like being back in 2004, but in a good way.
Oh.
The graphics are, to be charitable to the graphics, they're of their time, but they work perfectly well. It's with games of this era, it's all about the story. And this is no exception, with it being based on Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. The story behind the game is amazing. I'm not going to go into it for fear of spoilers and stuff, but basically it's a proper runabout, explore, fight monsters, defeat bosses and save the world kind of RPG. And I really enjoyed it. So there you go.
And so is it it's just a direct copy of that 2004 game?
It is. I never played it in 2004. Right. So I can't say for absolutely certain. But everything, obviously, when you're doing a review, being professionals like we are, you do research, you read around the subject and stuff. And the things that were written about the game in 2004 are still true today.
Right.
So I imagine that it is pretty much a straight sort of remaster, remake, whichever one it is.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Very good. Very, very enjoyable game.
Great. Good. I've played a game that I didn't review. I've played a game called South of the Circle, and I think who's reviewed that for us? I think it was. Oh my god, I've forgotten his name.
I want to Dave.
Dave, that's awful. Sorry, Dave. Dave's reviewed it for us, and South of the Circle first came onto iOS, like a little mobile game, and it's a story-driven game, and like a narrative. And you play, it's set in the 1960s, and you play a scientist who's a professor, a young professor, trying to get his professorship, and he's studying climate, like the clouds and the radiation in the clouds. and he's at Cambridge, and he meets another professor, a lady, and they form a relationship. At the same time, these are flashbacks. At the same time, he's in the Antarctic right at the start of the game. There's a plane crash, and he has to try to go and get help. And the moment he arrives in one of the stations, no one's there. So there's this mystery going on. And at the same time, it's flashing back to him dealing with 1960s kind of politics with the Russians and the English and the Americans, about the kind of threat of nuclear war, threat of kind of like the Cold War, which is now happening now. And gameplay wise, you're moving around. You're just basically got a really interesting way it's made for an iPhone or Android, where you're just touching the screen about how you're responsive. So you might go, I'm going to respond in an angry way. I'm going to respond in a kind of like bright way or a forceful way. So you have those choices all the way through. But the narrative itself and the way it's cut together story-wise, it's really good. It's like a little film. The visuals of it are kind of cel-shaded, beautiful kind of like graphics of it. But it's really, it's completely addictive. It's like watching a good kind of like little movie or a series, a TV episode series. I think Dave really liked it. I think he might give it a 4.5, 5. Yeah, it's great. It's one of my little indie games of the year, I think. It's not been that many games this year, but yeah, it's really good. So if you like narrative games or you like stories, I'd definitely give South Circle. It's only I think it's just under a tenner, so it's definitely worth a shout.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Richard, have you got another game?
I do. This one, my review is up already on the site. It's a little Ratalaika Games title, so it'll probably appeal to Gareth and Paul because it does have easy achievements, but it's Avenging Spirit.
Let's stop the podcast now. We're going to go off.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to download
it. I think it's less than £4 as well. So double win for you guys.
Great.
It's called Avenging Spirit, which is a remaster or a re-release of an old arcade Game Boy title from the early 90s that I've never heard of. And from the sounds of doing, like Paul said, doing a bit of research, it seemed to pass a lot of people by when it first released. But honestly, I think it's one of the best games that Ratalaika have ever put out on Xbox. It's a 2D side-scroller platformer type thing, but you play a guy who's trying to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend, but as she gets kidnapped, at the same time you get killed. So you're playing as the ghost of this guy. And you can then possess the bodies of any of the enemies that are appearing on screen, and each one of them plays slightly differently to another. So early on, there's like these mafia type people that have got Tommy guns that'll just shoot anyone. It's completely bonkers. The enemies don't really have any relevance to each other. So whilst you've got these mafia type, there's also these women that'll come and can jump really high and will high kick anyone that gets anywhere near them. Then there's walking dragons. There's these there's robots, and there's another guy that will float from the top of the screen down, and if he lands, then he'll start punching you, but he's got really long arms. But if you possess him, then you can start floating up, which is really useful because the levels, whilst they're side scrolling, it tends to be a lot of, you need to go in quite vertical with a lot of the stuff. It's a really, really, for the time, it must have felt like a really original game. And even now you can sort of appreciate it. So there's multiple endings as well to it. You need to collect 3 keys to rescue her, but if you don't manage to find these 3 keys, you can still finish the game by defeating the final boss. She just unfortunately doesn't escape. Spoilers, I'm sorry, but yeah. But it's a really, it felt like playing it, you could sort of appreciate how original it must have been at the time, and you sort of questioning why didn't it do any better, because if it feels like it should have done really well, because I can imagine there not being anything else like it at the time.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Richard. That sounds good. We'll give that a go. Is it hard?
No. Well, as difficult is, I knocks it down to easy.
Good.
There's no, you can die, but then your score will carry over, and there's no penalty for dying. You'll just respawn at the same point.
Great. Okay,
How
brilliant.
do you die if you're already a ghost?
Because the enemies that you possess have a limited amount of life, and you've only got so much. You've only got so much time that you can be out of a body before perishing yourself.
Got you. Oh,
Good.
that sounds interesting then.
Good. Paul, let's talk about
Hello.
your second game. What else have you got?
I have got another little game. I think it might be Ratalaika. I'm not entirely certain. I've seemed to have done quite a lot of these just recently. And the title of the game is Road of Death.
Mm.
You have to say it like that. Now, basically what it is there's been some kind of nuclear accident and there are all these mutated creatures roaming around. And what you have to do is go into these areas and dispose of these creatures and pick up any sort of discarded confidential documents and stuff that you might happen to come across. So far, so good. It's a retro-styled pixel art twin stick shooter with roguelike elements, if I'm remembering all of the genres correctly. And basically what it is you run around like crazy with all these weird monsters chasing you, shooting them until you run out of ammo, and then literally just running away. And weirdly, it sounds awful, but weirdly, I quite enjoyed it. There was just something about it that kept me going back in, thinking, well, if I go this way now, it will be a slightly different result, maybe. Every time you spawn into the level, it starts you off in a different place. So you're never quite comfortable with what you're doing. There's always that little bit of uncertainty. There's lots of different characters to choose from. You can upgrade your weapons. You can go camping, which is always fun. Don't pitch a tent when there's monsters nearby because they come and rip straight through it. There's a top tip there for you gamers. And yeah, there's something about it. There's just that little gameplay hook, the thing that you look for.
Yeah.
That keeps you playing a game, probably longer than you should. So I've done the review already. I think I gave it 4 out of 5. It's really surprised me with how much I enjoyed it.
Oh, good. Okay. 2 good recommendations there. Thank you, Paul.
No problem.
What have you got, Darren? You got another game?
So not another new game, but I've got Forza Horizon 5 I've been playing again this week. So I'm terribly, criminally behind everybody else in terms of what I've done on the single player side of things. So just because the achievement popped up in the Microsoft rewards for the extra points, I thought, I'll have a look. And I've just kind of got into it again. You spend an hour here and there and doing some of the exhibition events and stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, it's just brilliant, isn't it? I can understand why it's got such a following. I absolutely love it, and I'm really enjoying the slightly different take on the big exhibitions this time, where you've got like optional accolades that you can gather while you're doing them and stuff as well. So had one where it takes you up a volcano, and another one where you're finding bits and bobs around a deserted airfield and stuff. It's the more I play it, the more I love it. So yeah, I'm really getting into that again at the moment.
Good. I've uninstalled mine.
You did say you were kind of near the end.
Don't tell it. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. We need a new podcast.
I know, it's terrible. Not because I don't love it. I think it's a great game, but I think I've done my time. Good. I'm not going to do my last game. We're going to move on. Let's talk about, now news-wise, it's very quiet. It will be for the next couple of weeks here, I think, in August. It's August, everyone's on holiday. And Gamescom is coming up. But there's a Marvel Suns has got delayed to the famous 2023 March time, which is good. I think from January onwards, they've got to release a game a week or a game a day to keep up with this amazing amount of games that are going to come out in this period, because it's mental. If they're all going to release at that time, it's absolutely madness. So, yeah, Marvel Suns has been delayed till it's going to come out before March 2023. Are you surprised by this, any of you three? I mean, we didn't really see much apart from a cutscene. I never saw gameplay, did you? Or anything?
No, I don't remember anything apart from the announcement with because there's Wolverine as well, wasn't there? I can't remember if it was in the same showcase or not. Maybe not. But I know Marvel confirmed that. Well, I think they've confirmed that they're working on a project, a Midnight Suns project for the MCU. So I just wondered if that had anything to do with it potentially. Right. Maybe they want to make them coincide.
Right. I think it's pretty. I think. What do you think, Paul? Do you think? Were you surprised by this, or is it because you didn't really see much of it and it was meant to be coming out at the end of September, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. To be honest, games being delayed these days is pretty much par for the course. I think I'd be more surprised if a game actually came out when they said it would. I mean, not being massively cynical or anything, but I just wonder how much of it is down to companies saying, yeah, of course we can get it done by then, until they actually start programming the game and then realise that there's so much work to do that there's no way in the world they can release it for the date they've said. Whether they need to think about it before they give a date, maybe do some of the work. I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, in this case, it is what it is. I mean, it's a game I would like to play, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it being delayed.
I think there's been 42 games being delayed this year.
You were going to say it's been 42 years since they announced it.
Yeah. I believe you,
sir. Yeah. I think in a sense, I think what's happening now is we're getting this year's been from COVID. Two things. COVID now has after the ripple effect has hit us this year. The catch up, and also I think workplaces have changed the crunch stuff. The getting people to work crunch time, so that all that's kind of stopped as well. So workplace, how game developers work in that time in the big studios is changed, which might have an effect on why we've seen some releases as well. Delays. Richard, you upset by this? Are you?
I wouldn't say I'm upset. It was kind of an interesting game. A game I had interest in, more so than the DC stuff that was coming out around the same time. I felt like a real-time strategy game with Marvel characters would have been a really good idea. I'm sure there's multiple reasons for the delay, and I'm pretty sure one of the reasons is that the end of 2022 is getting busier and busier. But so is the beginning of 2023 now. So how long do you leave it?
Yeah, 2023 is just going to be the maddest year, I think, if it all comes together. Do you see any games coming up to the end of the year? Do you look at anything in that schedule and think there's going to be a couple more delays in there?
Yeah.
Do you? Which ones do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if Crisis Core remaster got delayed, because that was only given a tentative winter 2022 release window.
I think you know what that is. What is that?
It's the Final Fantasy VII prequel.
Oh god, yeah. No, yeah, that'd be,
not interested.
That'd
Next.
be 2026. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Right.
I reckon I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Starfield get pushed back.
Oh, even further than June 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I'm hoping it doesn't happen. But when's Redfall out?
Well, it's meant to be in that same period, isn't it? So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that slip either, as well. To be honest, it seems to be the more I look forward to a game, the more likely it is to slip. So yeah, I don't want to play Redfall at all.
I think Redfall will get a release date at Gamescom, and I think it'll be a bit earlier than people anticipate.
Oh, Mystic Dobbo in the house.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
It's been a while, but because I think you're right with it coming out at a similar time to Starfield, and both under the Bethesda. Redfall's Arcane into it.
Yeah, I mean they're both very different games, even though they're under the same studio, but they're really different, aren't they? So I think you could put them out. You could put them out within a month of each other. You're not gonna split your audience with that. I think, because it's
Yeah.
We're still waiting on Deathloop, a release date for Deathloop, which also could potentially be revealed at Gamescom. Although I think they might hold that back for another time and then say, and it's out now, sort of thing, because the work's got to be done for that, hasn't it? Now it's just a case of whenever the exclusivity and rights ended.
Yeah. Darren, any comments on what do you think? Any delays before we move on?
I mean, I'm more optimistic. I don't think we'll hear much more just because of the emphasis Xbox put on the kind of E3, non-E3 showcase around these are the games that are coming out in the next 12 months. So I hate to say it, but I don't know about Skull and Bones still because we haven't heard much about it because that's due in November, I believe.
God, 70 quid. 70 quid.
There's only James believes that's still coming anyway.
70 quid.
70 quid.
So potentially that, but otherwise, I mean, I don't think there's much left. A lot of stuff is there's some bits that interest me like Scorn and stuff, but you know, Gotham Knights seems like it's on track as far as we can tell. But there's other kind of versions or remakes or whatever that you think they should be pretty safe to come out. So I can't see there being a lot more this year, to be honest. I do wonder though, January 23, Dead Space. Not sure about that.
Yeah.
Be interested to see what happens.
Well, especially if you've got what's that PlayStation one that I really like? Forspoken's been moved into that area.
Yes.
You've got Callisto Protocols of December, so it's like I think you're right on that. Gamescom is coming up, and Xbox has said they're going to be there and showing off some of the. They haven't talked about new games yet. They're not said they're not going to do new games, but they've talked about what games are going to be. They're going to do a 6-hour live stream, which we're not going to watch. But they're going to be looking at games like the big ones are like A Plague Tale Requiem. They're going to be showing that off, third-party titles, but also their games like how do you say it? Pentiment, which is
Pentiment.
Pentiment.
Thank you.
Pentiment.
That's going to get showed off. Microsoft Flight Sim, Sea of Thieves that goes on, and Grounded, of course, which now launches for. Also, Age of Empires, which I kind of always still hope. I think that's going to come to console. That might be a release.
I think this is the time where it's going to be revealed for console.
There you go. That'd be great.
I do hope so. That would be another good shadow drop, like you mentioned before, Richard. And it's out now or whatever. That would be brilliant.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I hope somebody's writing down all these Mystic Dobbo predictions so we can step back and see.
Can I throw one more in then?
Go on.
Yes.
Oh, go on then.
Atomic Heart is going to be delayed.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And some of it.
I'll throw one in as well.
Go on, Paul.
Beyond Good and Evil will not be announced.
You didn't need Mystic Dobbo to see that one.
But we'll be doing a special Gamescom report. Probably not going to do 6 hours, but we're going to definitely do the Future Games show the night before. So we're going to be there that week. We're not going to be there, but we're going to be there online.
Not going to be. Yeah. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Getting sent over
to
Germany.
All of us in Cologne. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Next year.
We'll have to have a word with Neil and see if there's any money in the kitty.
Exactly. And as we said, the rest of the news, it's really bad. I mean, I've put here, there's a Train Sim World 3, and I review the bloody Train Sim World games a lot. And I did a lovely interview with one of the developers who's very nice. Train Sim World 3 has dropped. It's coming out in September. But I would recommend everyone to watch the trailer for Train Sim World 3 because they really try to ramp it up, the excitement for it with a kind of like a sort of very, really hardcore sort of R&B rap number on top of the train thing. So it's very great. Wow. It's really good. Watch it. You can only go watch it.
Yeah, there's nothing says train spotting like hardcore rap R&B.
It's great. I mean, but it's just like, this is exciting. Look at this. I don't know where they've decided to do that.
Wow.
Let's do a quiz.
Yes, let's.
Now, this
what language is it?
No, oh my word. Now, this quiz this harks back to the first quiz I did, I think, for the year Xbox One. But we're going to do the rollover rules. So the rollover rules, you get one go at answering the question. and it's for 1 point. If you get it wrong, it gets rolled over to 2 points, and so on and so forth. So you get one guess each. And what I've done is I've got 15 questions, and they're 15 quotes, script from characters in a game. And what you're going to do is just guess the game.
I was going to say, all the games you play don't have any dialogue in. They're all walking simulators.
So I'm not going to do any voices because that would give it away. I'm just going to do it quite blandly. So are we ready? Is that clear? So you get one guess.
Let's do all buzzers. The buzzer?
Yeah, let's do the buzzers. Paul, what's your buzzer?
Meow.
Darren, what's yours?
Buzz.
And Richard, what's yours?
Womp.
Right. Right, let me move my questions over here. Let's move all my equipment around so it's nice and clear. Oh, let me do a little score thing, talk amongst yourself. Oh, don't have that up.
Make sure you've got the answers and the questions lined up in the right order this time, yeah?
I can't believe you're telling me off after what we went through last week.
I know.
Well, I tell you what. When you said what's the name of Crash Bandicoot's sister, and I said Coco, and you said no, Lara Croft.
Lara Croft.
I was like,
yeah, I did get it wrong, didn't I? Right, here we go. First question number 1. The best solution to a problem is usually the easiest one. And I'll be honest, killing you is hard. You know what modern days used to be like? I just tested. Nobody murdered me or put me in a potato. Was that
Womp.
Oh, Richard.
Portal 2.
Yes, Richard. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah. Great.
well done, Richard.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well
I'm
done.
done now.
Never played that game, so I was at something of a disadvantage.
Oh, he says this every time, doesn't he?
I know.
Well, you know.
Excuses in early.
Because you don't play proper games, Gareth. That's what it is.
Question 2. Now, that was one of the easiest ones, I think. Question 2. You give them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance to learn, to find love, to live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
Meow.
Paul.
First of all, I just have to comment that your acting is coming along very well.
Thank you.
I'm
Paul,
impressed with that. Is it Red Dead Redemption?
No.
Womp.
Richard.
The Last of Us.
No. Paul, Darren.
I have no idea. So I'll just say Halo. Don't know.
Halo? No. It's BioShock. And it's right at the end of BioShock. You know the cutscene right at the end? And all you get to
yeah.
the last speech. Yeah.
Oh, I should have got that.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just said, would you kindly, and then we'd have all got it.
Correct.
Okay, it gets a little bit shorter now. So roll over. 2 points for the next one. You are here, and it's beautiful. And escaping isn't always something bad.
Meow.
Paul.
Is it Grand Theft Auto 5?
No.
Oh, I feel like I've heard this one.
Oh. You are here and it's beautiful, and escaping isn't always something bad.
Womp.
Richard.
Is it The Last of Us?
No. Did you say that? Go on, Darren.
I don't know. Gears of War.
No, it's Firewatch. A little bit trickier, that one.
Oh, it is a walking simulator.
Yeah, there you go.
See? I bet the next one's Who Killed Edith Finch or whatever it's called.
So it's 3 points now. And these have been quite nice, haven't they? Poetic, beauty, and everything. Yeah,
lovely.
Number 4. Ready? I will kill your dicks. I'll say it again.
Womp.
Richard.
Borderlands?
No. I will kill
Meow.
your dicks, Paul.
Is it Bulletstorm?
It is Bulletstorm. Well done, Paul. 3 points. Well done.
3 points, that was.
Yeah, I know.
Woohoo! Yeah, baby.
So we're reset back to 1 point. Well done. Paul leads by 3, Richard 1, and Darren on nothing yet, but he'll get there. Yeah, he'll get there. The next one is the kid just rages for a while. The kid just rages for a while. Think about I'm going to give you a clue. Think about the person it's written in.
Womp.
Richard.
God of War?
No.
I don't feel like I know this, but Meow.
Paul?
Is it Pac-Man 256?
No. Come on, Darren.
Oh God, I have no idea. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
No. It's Bastion. Do you remember Bastion 3?
Another game I never played.
Oh, no.
I do remember it.
Bastion is a lovely game. It's a really good game. You haven't played Bastion. It's fantastic. Came out on 360 and then was on the Xbox One. But it has a narration all the way through. It's kind of brilliant and almost like have you seen The Big Lebowski with the narrator behind that? Has that kind of feel to it.
Nope.
It's really good. But it's a really good game as well. A really good little RPG thing.
Is it easy achievements?
Yeah, you should be able to get good achievements for that. Do it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right, come on, Darren. Question 6. I'm racking my brain trying to think of a name for that diamond pony I bought. I was going to call it Piss for Brains.
Meow, meow.
Paul?
Borderlands 2.
Yes, it is Borderlands 2. Paul, so 2 points for you.
It helps that
sorry.
I've got Queen Butt Stallion pop figure on the shelf looking at me.
It's brilliant. Well done, Paul.
Thank you.
Great. So that's 5 points for Paul, 1 for Richard, nothing for Darren. Come on, there's still loads of points to get here. Question 7. No matter how dark the night, morning always comes and our journey begins anew.
This sounds like a Gareth game.
I think we've lost Darren. I think Darren's gone into a dark place.
Yeah.
I just have no idea.
But the morning always comes, Darren. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel very comforted by it, but I don't know what it's from.
Meow.
Paul?
Is it Batman Arkham Asylum?
No. Good guess, though.
That was a very definite no.
Yeah.
It's like, how stupid are you?
No, it's a good guess, that one.
Can you say it again, please?
Yeah. No matter how dark the night, morning always comes and our journey begins anew. Is it familiar? Is it ringing a bell?
Yeah, but I don't want to say what I think it is.
You've got to say something.
Same answer.
Okay.
Right, Womp.
Well, Richard, what?
Is it Last of Us?
No! Darren, have a guess.
I will guess at Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know.
No. It's Final Fantasy X.
Oh.
No, I thought Dobber would have got
I
that.
thought he would have been there.
It's not like I'm playing it at the moment or anything like that.
Oh, no. It's a big game. There's a lot of dialogue in that game, to be fair.
Mm.
Okay. Here we go. So for a rollover now to 2 points. War is where the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other.
Meow.
Paul?
Is it Spec Ops The Line?
No, but that was a very good go.
Womp.
Richard?
Fallout 3?
No.
I'll plug for Gears of War 4.
No, all good though. It's GTA 4.
Oh.
Yeah. I think the war threw you then.
It
So,
did a bit.
It
Just a
did.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Grand Theft Auto game's famous for not having wars in, but, But anyway,
Are we ready? Fingers on buzzers now for 3 points, yeah? Come on. Praise the sun.
Womp.
meow.
Richard.
Dark Souls.
Yay, well done,
Well done.
Richard. So pools and 5. No, pools and 5. Yeah, Richard's on 4 and Darren's on 0. Is that Darren? You're still in it. This is good.
You're still in it, Darren.
Here we go. You want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
Meow.
Paul.
Is it Batman Arkham City?
No.
I think that would have been my guess as well, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Buzz.
I was going to say, don't guess that though, Dobbo. It's wrong.
No, yeah.
I'll buzz in and go for Batman Arkham Asylum instead.
Well done, Darren. 1 point for you.
Oh.
Very
Oh.
good.
It was Batman talking to Joker. I
Yeah.
just didn't get
Yeah.
the right game.
Yeah. Very good. Darren's off the...
Flipping heck.
That's good. Well, please, Darren's off the mark. That's good. Okay, question 11 for 1 point. This path should lead us straight to the grave. The world's grave, not ours.
Oh, God, I know it. What is it?
Is that a buzzer?
No, this is just me trying to beat my brain into some kind of action on this time on a Wednesday night. Oh, that is so familiar. Where do I know that from?
Anyone else on this one? While Paul's thinking.
You can hear the cogs turning. You should smell the burning in here. Good grief.
This path should lead us straight to our grave. No, sorry. This path should lead us straight to the grave. The world's grave, not ours.
Meow.
Paul?
Is it The Witcher 3?
No.
Oh, this is going to bug me now until you tell me.
Womp.
Richard?
Spec Ops The Line.
No. No. Darren, come on.
I don't know, so I guess God of War.
No. It is Destiny.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so familiar. It was right on the tip of my tongue.
Little
Oh,
ghost
God.
little gag.
Even
Good. Roll over. Two.
the way you said it, Gareth.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it was slightly robotic.
It
Yeah,
was.
good.
Yeah. Into 2 points now. Jesus. Right. Here we go. I've struggled a long time with surviving, but no matter what you have to. Sorry. I've struggled a long time with surviving, but no matter what, you have to find something to fight for.
Meow.
Paul.
Is it The Last of Us?
It is The Last of Us for 2 points. Good.
That was
Right.
that I've never played
Good
it.
night,
That was a
guys.
dig at
See you
Dobbo.
later.
That
Oh, my goodness me.
Very good.
It's been a fun podcast, but I'll speak to you later.
Absolute tease.
the table's gone over and everything.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, Dobbo.
Well,
Not sorry.
Richard, you can get back. You still can draw this. You can have another draw if you get down your
Well,
out.
I ain't got any more answers left now.
I know,
so-
yeah, that's true.
I'm banking on Anthem coming up on the last question. That's gonna see me through.
Or Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Good men mean well. We just don't end up doing well.
Meow.
Womp.
Paul?
Spec Ops The Line?
No. Richard?
Red Dead Redemption.
No. Darren?
Is it The Last of Us?
Oh, I don't have a clue. The Division, I don't know.
No, it's Dead Space 3.
Ah,
Ooh,
wouldn't have got that.
Good. It's a roll-up. It's good for 2 points. Question 14. If history only remembers 1 in 1,000 of us, then the future will be filled with stories of who we were and what we did.
Buzz.
Darren?
I don't think it's right, but it sounds like something from the end of Halo 3.
No.
Can we have the line again?
Richard.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I've got a new answer. So is it Red Dead Redemption?
No. No.
Can I have the line again, please,
Yeah.
Quizmaster?
If history only remembers 1 in 1,000 of us, then the future will be filled with stories of who we were and what we did.
Is it Street Fighter 2?
I wish it was. No, it isn't.
Turbo.
It's Battlefield 1.
Oh, right.
Yeah. World War 1. Okay, so for the 3 points, Richard, you can still do it. Here we go. Are you ready? If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script.
Womp.
Richard?
Bioshock Infinite.
No.
Meow.
Paul?
Is it Bioshock 2?
No. Good.
Come on, Darren, it's all on you.
Can I have the line again, please, Gareth?
Yeah.
Just feel a bit of tension. I don't know.
I'm sort of
Feel a
imagine
bit
you,
more
Darren,
tension.
sort of just drinking whiskey, sort of looking away at something else.
It's just
Yeah,
not
we're
bothered, is it,
cooking.
you?
I'm swirling the ice in the glass. Yeah.
If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script.
No, I have no idea. So I'm just going to go back to Gears of War.
No. It's Alan Wake.
I should have got that.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But Paul, you are the winner with 7 points.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Paul.
Richard's second with 4, Darren with 1. Unlucky Darren, but good. Well done, chaps. Right.
Well done, Paul.
Well done.
That isn't enough to make me retract my previous statements about how rubbish The Last of Us is, though.
No, it's another reason for me to hate that game.
It's one of my new favourite games now.
Yeah. Right, gentlemen, what are we looking forward to next week before we go? Darren?
So on Friday, we are heading out to Madeira for a week on holiday, which I'm very much looking forward to. So yeah, I'll be away for a bit. Should be nice.
Lovely. Richard, what about you?
I've put Madden 23. I'm not necessarily so much looking forward to the game, but it means that the American football season is just around the corner.
You do that. You review that game every year, don't you? You're the one who does it for us, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
good.
play it. It's a thing.
I have to do the basketball one, but thank God, I think one of our new reviewers really wants to do it, so I'm really pleased. Paul, what about you?
I am, for the first time this year, going to go night fishing on Monday night. I've booked a couple of days off work, so we're going to go and sit by the side of a lake for 24 hours and drink alcohol and try not to fall in.
Brilliant, that's good. We will be back next week. I think maybe a day. Oh, I can't. We'll be back next week at some point. Might be a day later.
Back at some stage.
Yeah. Now, if we need to find you, where can we find you, Darren? If we need to get hold of you.
So I'm on Twitter and my handle is @27Darren.
Good. And Paul, where can we find you?
I am also on the Twitter and my handle is @TheXboxHub.
And Richard, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and my handle is @001912.
Brilliant. And you can find me at GB Variety on Twitter and Twitch. But for now, gentlemen, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.thexboxhub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.